We're getting a lot of data points, you said that earlier, about inflation, too. And gold made a move, finally. It made some people are surprised it hasn't made more of a move. And I think you can go back, I don't know, can you go back a decade? Probably, and we're a little changed. Is it your view that Bitcoin has replaced or will replace or is in the process of replacing gold as the store of value for most investors?
There's a war for non-sovereign bearer instrument store of value, and it's Bitcoin versus silver and gold, and gold's 10 trillion and Bitcoin is 1 trillion, and it's pretty clear that Bitcoin is winning, gold is losing. Of all the commodities in the world, the only one that isn't suffering from inflation in the last 12 months is gold. You want to eliminate inflation, build everything with 24-karat gold. It won't go up in price. Bitcoin's definitely winning that struggle, and it's going to continue because you can move $1 billion block of digital gold at the speed of light. You can program it 60 times a second, and the maintenance cost is much lower. The custodial rates are much higher. So it's pretty clear that digital gold is going to replace gold this decade.
There are probably some troubling things in the infrastructure bill about how the tax treatment of Bitcoin, but it doesn't happen right away. Do you think between now and when it's supposed to happen that it won't happen? Or, I mean, that's an overhang on the future of Bitcoin for being more than just a store of value, for being much more utilitarian, isn't it?
You know, I'm not at all troubled with any of the regulation going on right now. The safe haven for institutions is to use Bitcoin as a store of value. Bitcoin's the only ethical, technical, and legal safe haven in the entire crypto ecosystem, right? It's more technically secure because of the ASICs and the proof of work mining. It's more politically secure because of the support for the miners by the politicians in every jurisdiction. It's more ethically secure because it is universally acknowledged as common property. So if your use case is to buy $1 billion of Bitcoin and hold it forever in lieu of gold or in lieu of property, or in lieu of a stock portfolio, that without all the risks of stocks and equities and bonds and all the headaches of precious metals, then Bitcoin meets that use case. All of the sound and fury in Washington is going to have an impact on security tokens, DeFi exchanges, crypto exchanges, all the other use cases of crypto that are not Bitcoin. And that's where we'll see all of this settle. And that's why there's volatility right now.
So if you were to try to look at the eventual adoption of Bitcoin and divide whatever that is by 21 million, what number do you think is realistic in the future? And I don't know whether people should never try to do a target and a time for when you hit the target, because you can't get both right. But what you think it's worth $1 million a coin someday, Michael?
The big idea is every currency in the world collapses into the U.S. dollar stable coin, and the U.S. dollar is the universal medium of exchange for the world. And people seeking a long-dated store of value asset, a synthetic asset, they start to demonetize that second investment property, and they demonetize gold, and they demonetize an equity index. So what do I expect? I expect that Bitcoin, if it doubles every year at the end of the decade, it will have flipped gold, and then it'll flip monetary indexes, a little bit of bonds, a little bit of real estate, a little bit of equity, and emerges as $100 trillion asset class. So 100x where it is right now. And when we get there, it'll be 5 to 7% of the worldwide economy. The US dollar will probably replace 150 currencies. Maybe there'll only be 2 or 3 left. There might be the euro, the CNY, the dollar. Everything else is probably going to disappear. And then Bitcoin will be the world's monetary index. If you simply want to keep your money and you don't want to express a credit sentiment or an equity sentiment or some property or real estate sentiment.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.